All right. Are we actually live or not? We will find out momentarily. Oh, I think we are live. There we go. Put up the Facebook page. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. I thought I would sit down and do a video for you guys and gals. Give you guys a forearm shot before we get started. Veins are on point today. But let's talk a little bit about this recent cut. A lot of people have noted that. I've had a lot of commentary. Obviously, a lot of people are like, it's crazy. I'm getting daily compliments on YouTube and Facebook, and people are like, yeah, this is ridiculous. No, Bob, I'm not done cutting. Not by a long shot. But, people have said, was it difficult? What are you using? And the funny thing is, I am literally not using any fat burners of any type. I am not using Tren, not using Clen. I'm not using T3, anything like that. Nothing. I am literally using nothing to help cut. It's been purely my diet and cardio. Okay. And joking aside with the natural thing, no, I'm not going to stand here and claim natural. That's just fun. But obviously, nothing hardcore, like so conservative that people would be like, yeah, that's basically beginner first time do stuff. But I'm not going to go into all that. Again, it's just a joking and trolling because this whole industry are fake natties. And there are no natties on YouTube. Sorry, guys. All your people you follow, they're not natty. All of them. It's nonsense. But, I always make the joke because they all do it too. So that aside, I'll get to y'all's questions in just a minute. But no, the cut has been easy, not because I'm using any fat burners, but because I literally eat clean. And by clean, I mean I eat no junk food. I eat very, very low as far as saturated fat outside of dairy, like whole dairy. I eat zero refined sugar, almost no refined carbohydrates. Everything I eat is either high in fiber or high in protein. Like literally everything that goes in my mouth. So if you guys look at like my Facebook page, look at the folder I just put up of meals. Like that is literally what all my meals look like every day. I train fasted. I do fasted cardio every single day. Every single day. So, hey, Bob, if they're making their living on social media as a fitness influencer, they are. And therein lay the difference. And that's just reality. I'm sorry that if the exception would be extremely rare. And people get mad when you say that, and that's fine. Whatever, I don't care. But I digress back over to the point. I'm not using anything that would be considered a fat burner. So literally no Tren, no Clen, no thyroid meds, no Ozempic. It's purely diet and cardio. But you guys see the cardio. I've logged the cardio. You see the training. And you see my meals, right? So it makes sense. That's what I'm doing. And realistically, let's be honest here, guys. Anyone who's a serious bodybuilder, guys who compete in bodybuilding, which is not me, they'll tell you the same thing. To get where I'm at in terms of body fat, if you actually need a fat burner for that, you need to quit eating donuts. Your problem, if you need Clen or Tren to get as lean as I currently am, you need to quit stuffing donuts down your fat fucking ass. That's your problem. Quit eating McDonald's, quit doing flexible dieting and fitting your macros. The problem is you eat shit. That's why. If you actually eat clean, you should be able to get at least as lean as I am now, where I'm at in my journey, or leaner without a fat burner. Just stop eating garbage. That is literally the only thing you have to do. Just quit trying to, I'm going to squeeze the treats into my macros. Quit doing that shit. And then you won't need Clen. Like that's it. Stop drinking alcohol. You won't need Tren and Clen. Problem solved. The only people who need electric where I'm probably I'm going to guess, let's say maybe 12% body fat right now, right? In that range. To get there, all you have to do is just stop eating crap and do some fasted cardio. Facts. Can you guys give me some more likes? There's a whole lot of people looking and aren't giving them likes. How many people commenting versus the likes? All right. Now I'm going to go through and answer the question. Bob says, are you done cutting? Nope, I need to get leaner. I want to get down under 10% body fat for sure. And I'm not there. I had a couple of people estimate who don't have my body dysmorphia. Said, yeah, you're probably about 12%, maybe right now. I'd like to get under 10. And I think I can do that without using any drugs that will help. I mean, it shouldn't be necessary. So let's get over into the rest of the questions. My shoulders are boulders. Thoughts on people milking Jeff? I mean, I made my own live on it yesterday. I discussed it briefly. Right? Exquisite glute striations don't happen at like 8 or 9%. That is super, super shredded. I am probably not going to get that lean. That is ridiculously lean. Somebody says, Cove, is your pet rat taking any special supplements? My pet rat, not that I want to be clear, not that I would do such a thing. Let's be clear, not me. My pet rat might have a preference for a very, very low amount of testosterone and primo. That might be what my pet rat has a preference for. Bob says, I agree there's a lot of fake natties, but yeah, but if they're making their money on social media and they're claiming natural and their fitness, no, dude. So you're saying they suck as a businessman. So, I mean, essentially, keep that in mind. When you call one of those people, say, no, they really are a natty, you're saying they're a shitty businessman, that they suck at business and need to quit doing business of any type and they're stupid. That's what you are saying. You are calling them stupid. You're saying they're a effing dumbass who has no clue how to do business. That's what you're actually accusing them of. That's an insult. All right. ZY, XY, whatever. Would you do a DEXA scan? I don't know. I mean, I did 3 DEXA scans before. Bulwer says, I thought under 10% is unsustainable, I guess. No, not necessarily. Again, Bulworth, again, that was an old opinion, stuff that I've assessed, right? Assessed differently. That was something I said a long time ago. When I've looked at it objectively, looked at data, looked at people who get really lean, what I've noticed is that the people who can get that lean without issues, there's several things they have in common. Okay, it's not just genetics. It's the fact that they do it very, 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 very slowly. Okay, those are people who choose to stay lean, keep their diet tight, and they don't try to go from 13% to 8% in 2 months. Those are people who adjust gradually. They do a lot of activity so they keep their calories high. They don't develop any nutrient deficiencies. Okay. Right? They eat plenty of healthy fats, all their fruits, vegetables, all that stuff. Those are the people I've noticed who don't have the problems. It's the people who try to force cut down fast. Okay? That's the issue. Umi, no, I didn't move back up. I added carbs back in. I'm dropping back down. I'm back down to 210 now. And it's slowly working back down. But my cut wasn't off track. Omi, why did you think my cut went off track? Did I ever look not leaner? I adjusted my source of my food to regain some glycogen and stuff. Like I told you then, my cut didn't go off track. Do you stop caffeine? I cut out caffeine in the morning. I don't have any caffeine at any time once I start eating after breakfast. Born to bet, how much would a barbell step up transfer over to a back squat? I know a large. Okay, let's stop. It depends on your weak links. That is like asking how much does a tricep extension carry over to your bench press? Well, I don't know how much are your triceps currently limiting your bench press. Do you see how the problem with the question? And I'm saying that as a powerlifting coach, who you guys have seen some of my clients benching like over double body weight, right? You've seen some of my raw powerlifters benching double body weight or more, right? Have we not on camera? So using that example, depends on where your weakest at. If your quads are your weak link right now in your squat, for your squat style and in your movement pattern, those step-ups can carry over quite a bit, okay? If your quads are not limiting your squat, and let's say maybe it's your core, hip extension, things like that, then it's not going to carry over at all. Your question is very nuanced. Okay. Let's get rid of Blake. Hey, Blake, you sipping that haterade, bro. Jason, I'd like to see what you look like. You're just a mustache. Yeah, I'm not going to happen. Sam K, currently doing very plant-based, iodine, B12, D3, omega-3 as cheap as possible. Good. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I don't have a problem with plant-based diets. Even though I do animal proteins and things, I still promote largely plant-based. Yeah, I mean, I think that's perfectly fine. Just make sure that you're not deficient in like your B12, your omega-3s. As long as you're doing all that and you're not having a problem with protein, plant-based diet is perfectly fine, perfectly healthy. If you guys notice how much my haters are so obsessed with their own homoerotic fixations on me, all of them, if you guys notice all of them, they're all obsessed over my hips. They're all obsessed over my butt. They are so in the closet. It's actually really sad. They need to just come out. And that includes Tinky Winky and all those guys. Y'all would feel a lot better. And I'm saying that in a non-judgmental way. I'm saying that as someone who is pretty LGBT friendly. You guys need to come out of the closet. You're going to feel a lot better. Okay. Witch Doctor says, hey, Jason, in all seriousness, you've made some great gains on low dose stack for years now. I don't think enough people point out that you're not even blasting. Well, it's because they don't know what I do. They don't know what most people do, and they don't know what I do because I've never actually got up and said, hey, I do X, Y, and Z. I think most people's, when they realize what my fat-free mass index is, or they were to meet me and realize my actual stats, and then if I told them what I actually did, they would probably say I'm lying. Okay. I've had other power lifters and people tell me, dude, you got to be, you're lying about your stat when it's the guys talking. So, you know, I don't think people understand. They're clueless. They have no idea what people do. Bring back, hey, Bob, I'm never going to do the +5 out of weaponsmithing again. Omi says, oh, I see, I remember you were 204. Yeah, dude, that was on the low carbs and low salt and everything. Bob, I wouldn't make millions on OnlyFans. But, I mean, I'm not going to get into this because there is a possibility of that. But as a group project. I'm not going to say any more, though. It's not something I'm definitely going to do. It's just an idea that's been batted around. But I'm not going to jump up and say I'm going to do it. Anthony, Jason's channel was the best. I was crying laughing at Jason's impression to Cali Muscle and the Cocoa Puff. You mean good old Chucky Basher? Oh, Jason, bloop, blop, bleep, blop over here. Except I can't do an imitation of him talking about me without dropping N-bombs because he called me the N-word like 7 times when he talked about me. So I can't imitate him. I'm not allowed to. It's against the rules. It's like a no-go zone, right? I am way too pasty to get away with the full imitation. That's just, I'd get canceled. You can't do it, guys. Sorry. You know? He did, like every time he's mentioned me, though, he like drops the N-bomb on me. No, Exquisite, I don't get a temporary pass. That is not how it works, dude. That's not how it works. There is no situation in which I can get away with saying that ever and getting a pass. Never going to happen, dude. Again, that's not how it works. think you'll build a home gym one day to rival Brian Shaw's? I don't know about that. Mooser Bose says, I need to cut. Well, go ahead and cut, dude. You deserve to be bigger than Greg Doucette. You're funny with a decent voice. And hey, man, I appreciate that. Exquisite down. You get a temper. Dude, that's not how it works. Also, man, you guys need to toss me some more likes in here. Come on now. But Exquisite, again, let me reiterate. There is no situation in which I can get away with you. It's just not. No. It's not a word I even prefer to use personally. Even behind the scenes, it's just not cool. You know. All right. Matt says, Jason, do cable laterals and dumbbell laterals fall into whatever's most comfortable category? I think so. Honestly, whichever one you prefer and whichever one you feel more is probably the best choice for that particular situation. I know, right? Where's all them likes? Some people rolling the likes back up. They gave them and they took back away. What's up with that? Lifton says you got. I don't know. You might not like it. Big Lenny put Chuck Basher in his place. I don't know. Did he? Can we get a costume Halloween live stream at least a Spartan? I don't know about that. Likes were at 18. Now I know, right? They're at 18. They went to 8. Now they're up at 11. The likes are all over the place. Man, you guys give me some likes. Come on. What's the problem? What's the problem? Coach, do you think you hit your ceiling in terms of the most you could have lifted and comp when you competed those times? Nope, absolutely not. I will eventually compete again. I'm just not going to tell you guys when I'm doing it. Does that make sense? You're not going to get hints and clues, and definitely not going to get dates. There is no end to the cut. Oh me. Oh gosh. Wow. Okay. Yeah, guys, the heck. Even says, hey, even, you know I didn't actually do that, right? Ivan, let me be clear. Because I've discussed stuff from the past and I've apologized for things, had I actually done that, the thing that I know you're trying to accuse me of, was it actually me who wrote that? I would have just gotten up and apologized already and said I was wrong. Because that's how it works. I'd have been like, back when I was 12 years old, when somebody wrote all that, you know. I would have gotten up and apologized and it would have been accepted already. Because that's that sort of thing. If you get up and give a sincere apology over, people are very forgiving when they say they've changed their ways. But since I didn't actually do it, I can't apologize for it because it would be a lie. But let me be clear. If I was actually guilty of the thing you are accusing me of, I would have already issued a public apology. Does that make sense? I would have literally already got up and apologized and probably got a lot of fame and outreach for it. The problem is I'd get caught in the lie later when people find out I didn't actually do it. Therein lay the issue. Again, essentially the guy's accusing me of having been like a member of a hate group and written for them and stuff is what he's accusing me of. Which again, most people understand. And I actually did. And I just said, oh, that was a really long time ago. And I'm sorry. And I gave a sincere, heartfelt apology. It would totally be accepted. But I'd have to lie because I didn't actually do it. All right. Crappy Gamer says, take my light, coach. Appreciate it, man. Hey, Kyle, we've discussed all that ad nauseum in the vlogs, what's going on with muscle development. Like we've covered this already through the whole time period, right? Does that make sense? Like I am bigger. I'm actually technically carrying more muscle than I was then in the upper body. I could crush those bench numbers right now, for example. I could probably walk in, actually, if I were to do a meet next month, I could walk in and beat all of my meet benches, all of my meet deadlifts, guaranteed 100% chance in the 198. Like just right now, based on what I do on the bodybuilding training. The difference, I have more muscle now. That's it. All right, Matt, how wide of a grip would you go on overhead press to put more emphasis on the upper chest? Man, that gets really nuanced. If your goal is truly entirely upper chest, I would go as wide as possible. Like I'd go as far as pinkies on the rings. Hey, Jason, I'm back. Didn't recognize you with the new pic. Looking great, buddy. Thank you. Bob, what did it take you so long? Bob, because building muscle takes a long time. Why did it take, you're asking me, why did it take me so long to build my chest and my delts and all that? Like, because building muscle takes a while, dude. All right. Don Quiz Vista says, should I get my test levels checked? It's $100. I don't know. Do you need to get your test levels checked? Are you planning on going on testosterone? That's the simple yes or no. Do you plan on going on testosterone? If the answer is no, then there's no reason to ever get your testosterone levels checked. There's zero reason. Like, well, it's not useful to you to know what your T levels are and to waste that $100 unless you are planning on going on the vitamin T, in which case it would be a good idea. There's no practical application for it. Big Strong, my tricep training is in my vlogs. You can literally see my vlogs. I trained triceps today, in fact. Big Strong between your triceps or chest, probably my triceps right now. Right? I mean, you can see the pictures, the different angles. You can see all the videos, right? You see the pictures I put up. It's very obvious my triceps are a weaker link. Triceps might be the weakest link in my whole physique, besides body fat. How do you fight inevitable sarcopenia? Training, magical supplements as you get older, lifting, keeping protein high. It is inevitable, but you can slow it down as you get older. I'm not at the point where it's going to be a concern. That stuff we worry about in another 10 years. Pieces, forearm veins popping, right? Like a catheter tube stuck in there. Don Q says I have low test symptoms. Well, yeah, no, there's lifestyle fix isn't going to, if you got truly low T, you need to go talk to a doctor. Unless you're fat. If you're really fat, that might fix it if you get leaner. What age roughly does muscle and strength potentially peak before? That is not as straightforward. There's an entire curve and discussion on that to where there is not a straightforward answer by any stretch of the imagination. It is literally going to depend on genetics, training history, everything. It could be a 20-year gap from one person to another to answer your question. So there is no good answer. It is too variable depending upon the person. All right. Coach, I loved your nicknames for the different YouTubers. I'm missing any. Nick's G for P, strap on. Teddy 2 times the booty. Yeah, there were more, but we don't need to go into all of that. How much T or T do you need to talk to your doctor? Why are you asking me a medical doctor question? I don't know how much you need to take to reach a certain level. You're going to have to do blood work to determine that. Exclusive, I thought you were 52. What do you mean 52M? What do you mean? I don't understand what does 52M mean? Is that slang for something? Jason, why are your haters so obsessed with how you look like? They're mostly obsessed with my butt and my hips. If you actually look at what they write, that is what they're most obsessed about, because they're all in the closet. Why would you think I'm 52? Do you not see all my stuff over and over and over and over and over and over writing 47? And then, when I was 46, it was 46 over and over and over. It's like every video, every post. I don't know how you could possibly get that wrong. Lifton says, seeing Michelle's strength and muscle gains got me thinking I need some Team Blaha. We'll put in an application, dude. I'm not taking any clients for it. Definitely not this week, though. But start of the month, I'll be taking clients on. Big Strong, I agree. I think your chest development is solid lately, so not start. Okay. Because I don't need to start with it. Why would you do that? Because you don't want your chest to get neglected. But I'm switching over to more closed grip benching. I'm doing extra volume. I actually train triceps twice a week. So because they're my weak link, they get trained twice. Everything else gets trained once. So I do them on chest day and I do them again on shoulder day. But they get the first lift of the day is a press on both of those days. So they do get started with. Just as you ever incorporate ultra high reps for more than 40 plus into your regimen? Yes, obviously you see me do it on camera. Did I not do it literally today on camera? Of course I did. All right. So what exercises have you seen me do it on in the recent past? Like reverse hypers, band press downs for triceps, right? Bob says, why do you include your age in every post? Yes, it's great for marketing. It gets me age over 40 clients big time, and that's who can afford me. How do you stop lifting from feeling stale? Adjust something. Exquisite, I don't really watch your videos and read the descriptions. Oh, okay, well, fair enough. That makes sense. Big Strong. Let me ask you a question, Big Strong. Why don't you watch my vlogs? I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick, but you would already know that. If you actually watched my vlogs, you would know that I do long head specific training on both of my days. I literally do exercises to focus on the long head of the tricep because it's the one that gets most neglected, right? You are aware of that, right? So it's like you're asking me, why don't you do something that I do in my vlogs every single week? It's right there. You just have to watch. If you watched them, you would already know that I do that. And that's okay, but it's like you're asking questions. Why don't you do this? And I'm like, I do. It's like the people who, hey, Jason, why don't you do cardio? I'm like, why don't you watch my fucking channel and you could watch me do the cardio? I do it on camera all the time. Don Q, yes, I'm $100 an hour for consultations. True Lifter, Jason, I showed a pic of my aunt who's 35-year-old mom, so that's what a great guy. I get a lot of compliments, even in person. Do your bros have any nicknames for you? Yes, they call me Stifler, actually. Yes, that's Stifler. So in my close circle, that is my best bros are like, he's our Stifler. From American Pie, and that is how I'm referred to in my tight inner circle. Phil Jackson says, thank you for the lives, coach. Donquist, because I don't have a filter with my bros. So Phil. Hey, Phil, I'm not going to discuss that. Just says coach includes his age because if you track his haters from the past, coach has beaten them in the long game with your trained strength, increased strength, and compound lifts, and still continuing to improve. And I'm alive. Let's include that. If we're really going to go down the list of my haters, not only have I outlasted a lot of them, I haven't had any heart attacks yet, and I'm still alive. True lifter. Oh, you had to change it. Oh, no, she didn't. Zach, I don't have a large social circle, but I have a social circle. Benji says, hey, Jason, my cut is going well thanks to a lot of your diet advice. I posted a pic on my page. Awesome, man. Appreciate it. Of course, you got some strong lifts, right? After a cut, do you stop tracking and start satisfying cravings? No, not going to happen. I'm going to be eating pretty clean for a while. Rowan, there is zero possibility a random person from the internet is going to be in my inner circle. You have to be vetted to be in my inner circle. Someone who people I've been friends with for at least 20 years have to vouch for you personally. For you to even hang with us. Like, that's our rules. You cannot even hang out with my friends without having people vouch for you. We run a pretty tight circle. Texas is not a swing state. Hey, Big Strong, you clearly haven't looked at any of the research on that. If you think starting with skull crushers before you bench causes better tricep growth, you didn't look at the only study that measured that, did you? You do know that's actually been studied, right? The exact thing you just described has literally been studied in the lab. Training bench, then triceps, training bench, then skull crushers, and then having another group do skull crushers, then bench. Which one do you think produced the bigger triceps? Bench than the skull crushers. Produced way more pec, but it also produced slightly more tricep. So why would I do something that's been shown in the only study that ever looked at it to be garbage? Because some guy who runs 3 grams of gear told you to do it? See, that's bad advice, dude. You're giving bad advice to people. Actually, I'm not going to discuss because I wouldn't be Jeff and I wouldn't be in that situation. My shoulders are bolder, especially with lagging the long head of the tricep to do stretch position movements for the long head of the tricep. Kyle, I'm not going to support the far right. I'll always be pro-gun, though, like militantly pro-Second Amendment. Yeah, I was probably strong right, more libertarian. I have problems with stuff on the far right. I'm not going to go into politics here, but there's some positions the far right holds that I just can't get in line with. I just can't. Hey, Big Strong. But that's also what you're describing is not what a lot of the better bodybuilders do either. It's never been a requirement. Right? You're suggesting something that I don't think actually works. And just because some person named Big Strong, who has no clue who you actually are, says that I should do it, why would I do it? I don't know any good coaches who prescribe that shit. So let's even set aside, the only studies that have looked at it found it's inferior, number one. All the best coaches I knew don't prescribe that shit either. So why should I take Big Strong's advice? You see the problem with your logic? I mean, I've got a valid point, admit it. Okay. Big Strong. The best coaches I know don't prescribe shit like that. Period. So again, because some pro bodybuilder somewhere, who may not be the majority, does it, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? Born to bet. Did you ever do light cardio whenever you were in a calorie surplus phase, or just GPP to supplement? Yeah, no, definitely. There have been times when I bulked in the past where I did cardio. Would drinking half a gallon of water be enough for the day? Possibly. Exquisite. Yeah, he's right. West Side's dead. Louis said that when he dies, West Side died with him, and that's it. No, Kyle, I don't have an issue with reporting low-carb diets. I have a problem with high saturated fat diets. There's a difference. Donquist, who are you talking to? Who's voting for Camilla? I've not said anything about who I'm voting for or why. I've made no statement whatsoever as far as the way I'm voting. No, I don't have time to do any consults this week. Zero. There is no way I'm getting anyone in for a consultation until at least next Tuesday, including current clients. Was Louis? Yeah, Louis Simmons was definitely a true samurai. Yeah, my shoulder's right. Yeah, we're talking about politics. This is not a political channel, dude. Okay. So send me a message on the big Facebook channel. We can set up consults. They are $100 an hour. I'm sure people will assume you're a pro bodybuilder. Yes, they actually do sometimes, because the average person is not aware of how big current pro bodybuilders really are. Big Strong, what do you mean the approach doesn't work? My triceps have been growing. And I coach plenty of clients with big triceps. Lifting, I get mad at some of these ass clowns, yeah. No, I love what I do, but I have a low tolerance for bullshit in general. I have a low tolerance for people arguing with me. I'm a coach by profession. So as a general rule, people aren't allowed to argue with me. In real life, in my profession, it's not something I have a lot of tolerance for. So when people argue with me, it's like, if it was in real life, I would be way more of a dick. I would probably look at him and go, who the fuck do you think you are? So, and that's just my personality, dude. I'm here to educate, teach people, like coach. People have questions, ask questions. They have concerns, but you don't get to argue with me. Unless you suck a mean dick. All right. Kyle, because that is Michelle's dream. And again, you don't know her situation. Okay. All right. Has your no filter ever gotten you into trouble? Of course it has. But it is what it is. Again, people who know me know that it's just how I am, right? I mean, it's the way, it's the reason my bros are like, look, we call him Stifler because he can be an asshole, but he's got a good heart. You ever tried swimming for cardio? Sure, but I don't want to be in a pool all the time. I'd rather do other stuff. I mean, but so Bob, here's the question. Instead of asking me that, since I obviously don't, why don't you just ask me, hey, coach, do you think swimming is good cardio? Instead of, have I tried swimming? Because do you see me swimming on camera? You know, pretty straightforward. But coach, do you think swimming could be good cardio for some people? And I would say, yes, swimming can be great cardio for some people if you love swimming. In fact, it's awesome. Josh, let's get rid of this guy. I don't follow Trips. Like, I know vaguely who he is, and he's just a weird fat guy. So that's what I think of Trips. He's a weird fat guy who occasionally likes to say my name in videos and wears like a Batman belt or something. A grown man with like a wrestling belt or some shit. Or he's just some fat dude. I don't know. I don't actually watch him. He's been in a bunch of other circles that I used to be slightly on the periphery of, so I know who he is. And I know he occasionally likes to say my name, but he's just some fat dude. I don't understand what he's about. I don't get it. I don't understand. I mean, whatever makes him happy, but I'm not interested in following whatever he does. He's just some fat guy who likes to bench press or something. Am I wrong? I mean, Josh, is that an inaccurate? Because I mean, I don't follow the guy to know, but that's the impression I get. Rowan, it would be prohibitively expensive, although eventually some stuff of my business model will change over time, depending upon. But I don't discuss my plans. That's the thing. You don't tell people what your plans are, because that's how people try to shut those plans off. Yeah, I've got a lot of future plans for things in the works. Steve Gallagher, hey Jason, I thought it was pretty cool how you had internet access back in 04, access to the OG bodybuilding. What do you mean 04, dude? We had home internets and stuff back then. Because Kyle, I don't need a coach. Therein lay the difference. I'm not interested in working with a coach. I'm just not. And you don't know what actually goes on behind the scenes. So, I mean, keep that in mind. Even if I had someone helping with some of my stuff, you're not going to know about it. So, thoughts on using, hey, Don Q, I'm probably going to ban you for asking some weird shit like that, actually, is what I think. I know you're over talking about a consultation, but you're talking about squat plugs and stuff. I don't want to do a consult with you now because you're just a weirdo. You see what I mean? So now you're going to be like, hey, I want to do a consultation with you. I was a guy asking you about squat plugs, and I'm just going to block your ass. What? I mean, damn, dude, your fucking squat plug. Yeah, so why don't you just delete your weird squat plug? Because this is not a sexual fetish channel. Exquisite, I am LGBT friendly, but this is not a fetish channel. This is not about your sexual fetishes in my channel. And just because you have a fetish for that, I'm not judging if you got a fetish. I mean, that's your thing, but it has nothing to do with training. That whole squat plug thing is is nothing to do with training that dudes just happen to wear because they like stuff in their booty, you know. Um, it's not an actual training thing with any training benefit. It's a fetish. Which again, I'm not judging, dude. I'm not judging. Like, people have a right to whatever they do. I am literally not a kink shamer. I'm not. Kyle, that makes sense. I know you can't publicly associate with any. I mean, I associate with people quite a bit, but I mean, and eventually some of that's dying out because they can only do so much stuff. I mean, there's a point where people just start ignoring them. There's a point where people just start calling police on them. They don't seem to realize that. Yeah, James, there's always people asking weird stuff though. Cal says, other than a penalty row, what are some good options to build a thick back? You must be new to my channel, Callum. So let's talk about things for a thick back. Pull-ups, chin-ups, barbell rows, bent over rows, Yates rows, Crocs rows, Meadows rows, inverted rows. Cable rows, all sorts of rows for the hose. Makes your back thick. Crappy gamer, I know, right? BMO says, are isometrics complete crap reading and old school strength book incorporating a lot? For hypertrophy, they have sport specific applications. It has to do with joint angle specificity, but are isometrics good for gaining muscle? Not really. They've been shown to be pretty bad for it. Saw you went closer grip with upright rotator, trying to get more trap involvement. It's a comfort thing. I can get more range of motion. No, Don, you can get one, but don't be asking me weird stuff about your squat plugs. Like, I don't mind giving helpful advice, but I'm not going to chat with you about your fetishes. And I mean, that's fair, right? I don't run that sort of business service. Okay, cool. Big Strong, is it normal to make powerlifting mistakes when learning to bodybuild? Cut them some slack. What are you talking about? Benji, hey Jason, any lessons to be learned on how sumo wrestlers train? They actually have insane. I don't know if there's anything to learn from it. Steve Gallagher says, Jason, my power rack has a plate loaded pulley system for Olympic plates. I do compound work, but would it be fluff and pump junk work? No, not necessarily. I mean, who cares if it's fluff and pump? Does pump work gain muscle? Yes. Now, junk volume, but is using a pulley, is using cables junk volume? No. Why? It's only junk volume if it's junk volume. You could have junk volume with a back squat, technically, right? Junk volume, right? Junk volume means training volume that exceeds what you are capable of adapting to. So any volume that you do that you don't get a training response from would be junk volume. Callum, do you think 3 times a week frequency is too high for muscle growth? Seems like you just have, I think to some extent, unless you're a novice, yeah. Josh says, do you like the camber bar? I think it can be good. I own one. I think it's a great piece of equipment. I just prefer these days to use the normal power bar. But I do own a cambered bar like that. You've seen me use it in the past. I think it's a good piece of equipment. Hey Kyle, yeah, I'm not going to answer that. All things considered, that's kind of a funny question. for reasons I'm not going to tell you why it's a funny question. All right. Sat nav, I feel my calves on the hamstring curl machine. Is this normal? Might want to adjust your foot position. Turn your toes up more. Quit flexing your calf on them. All right. He says, do you think your triceps lag because you can't lock your elbows? No, I don't think that's necessarily what it is. It just has to do with they take a while to build. I didn't spend a lot of time working the long head. Realistically, most of my tricep work hit the lateral head historically, which is one reason I was good at close grip. And I didn't work the long head as much. And so I'm having to play catch up there. It's purely a training thing. Years and years and years of working the other heads instead of the biggest head that doesn't get worked on all the pressing and the pressing accessories. That's why I'm having to do a lot more bodybuilding work for the triceps. That guy mentioned junk volume. Thank you. Yeah, I've had videos on it. Don Q, apology accepted. Long legs, I don't care. I'm never doing the breakfast chats again. Hey, Kyle, you don't think that's kind of a weird thing for you to say? I mean, you sound like one of my weird stalkers if you think I don't leave the house or have a social life outside of it. I don't know what to tell you. No, Don Q, you can't hire me to be your friend. In fact, I had to fire a client for that. So I'm going to need to go ahead and just get rid of you at that point. Because that's weirdo shit that I've had to fire a client for that already. Nope. I am there to get you jacked and strong. I'm not there to be your friend. Not friend like that. And if you don't have friends, I'm going to be honest with you, dude. Someone who can't make friends, not really someone I want in my circle. Let's call it like it is, dude. You use squat plugs. All right. Let's get rid of you. All right. What kind of car do you do? I see you do the weight vest walks. Anything else? Other stuff doesn't necessarily go on camera, but the weight vest walks I put on camera. On pin leg rolls, does it matter the grip width used? You get more back if you grip wider. The wider you go, the more upper back it's going to work. Yeah, long legs, I don't care. I'm not doing them. I'm not going to give numbers on that comp. Yeah, Bullworth on a row, generally the wider you go, the more the shift is going to go towards your upper back. BMO says, for your consultations, you discuss sport-specific stuff. Yes, absolutely. But you hit me up in the message and let me know what it is you're wanting to discuss before we set it up so that I can get an idea of what we're going into. But yeah, absolutely. I've done everything from sport-specific stuff. I do stuff for people who have problems with binge eating, all sorts of things. They're not all just about lifting, right? I've done several this year that were purely for people with binge eating problems who were not really serious lifters in any way, who actually came purely through Facebook. They don't even follow my YouTube. All right, where are we at? We're 54 minutes. I think I'm going to go ahead and wind this down. So I hope it's been informative. I love all of you guys and gals. Let me give you guys a forum shot before we go. And I'll talk to you next time.